Greetings, Starry family. Thank you so much for being here and being present. I'm so grateful to have each and every one of you here. And for those who watch the recording later, blessings to you. And so today we're going to be speaking about activating our global awakening. So in the current state that we're all in, what's really happening is a lot of people are turning within, you know, the old saying, begin within. And as we begin within and we actually start to focus on our inner world and what it is that we need and what it is that is self-care and what it is to have self-forgiveness and love and compassion and all of those feelings and energies that we want to call in, all that positive, juicy energy that we can cultivate, that we can expand, that we can send out into the world. So with that introspection comes a lot of things. And one of the things that comes up, obviously, is our shadow side. And with that comes many lessons. We start to understand and realize what it is we might have done to somebody in the past, or what we might have said that could have hurt someone. And finding that tenderness and that tender place of compassion in our heart, not only for ourselves, but for those that we may have done wrong in the past, and cleaning and clearing the slate and really coming into a place of inner peace and joy and love and acceptance. So when we're moving from duality, when we're moving from this light, dark, male, female, good, bad illusion that happens in the matrix, essentially what occurs is we start moving into oneness, where we start seeing that we really all are one. And as the entire world is in this state of being right now, it's important to realize that we're all in this together. We're all in this together. And there's so much information coming through to everyone, to each of you on the call, to each of you on the recording later, that it's now time to disseminate that information, our inner truth, our highest knowing, our best well-being, our highest and loving intentions. We all know what is real for ourselves. We all live in what's called a phenomenological world. It's a psychology term that explains that my story is going to be different than yours. And that's going to be different than my husband's, and that's going to be different than my son's. That 10 people can look at an incident that occurs in front of them, and they will all have a different perspective on what occurred in that incident. So what that means is that we all look through our world, through and at the world through our own glasses, through our own lenses, through our own experiences, through our own perceptions. But what happens is we start to create a story around what happened. We start including our emotions and our feelings, or things that came up for us during that time. And what occurs when that happens is that each of us kind of, we split into our individuality as far as that goes, instead of actually saying the facts of just what happened. Like, what happened without my glasses, without my lens of perception? What was that incident? What was that occurrence? And if I don't attach certain feelings to it, or don't make it mean something, then we can get out of this vicious cycle of making things mean something. Oh, that happened, that meant this. Oh, that happened, that meant this. So in Landmark, they have the Landmark Forum and a bunch of courses that you can take, and it's a self-help program. But one of the crux of what they explain is that our life is empty and meaningless, meaning that it is completely, like, it's infinite possibilities. It's empty, and in that emptiness, you can create whatever you want, and you can put whatever meaning you want to it. So what is this time on planet Earth meaning for you? What are you doing to better yourself, to progress yourself, to expand your consciousness, your awareness, to understand more completely who you are, who your true inner voice is, your higher self, your connection to source and guardian angels and our ascended masters. They're all here to teach us. They're all here to guide us. And we all have that inner voice. And when we stop turning off that inner dialogue that's negative, and we really start listening to the positive, loving, compassionate voice, that is our higher self. That is God, Goddess, source energy speaking through us and to us. So as I experience more of connecting with my inner self, with my higher truth, and her name has come forth as Anistara, and the more that I embody her lessons and learn from what she's teaching me or what she's telling me, the more I come closer to my higher self and who I'm meant to be, and why I'm here on this planet, and what I'm supposed to do. Like, what is my mission? What is my reason for being here? We all want to know that. It's you know, the all embracing question of who am I? So as we quiet ourselves and listen more to that inner voice and that higher self, the more embodied they become with us, and we emanate that energy and we bring that energy forth and we share it with others and we shine our light. And as we shine our light, we give others permission to shine their light. So with that said, I would like to just take a few moments to just really ground in together and tap into our different timelines, our past life, Akashic records, Ascended Master libraries, anything that you feel or that we feel that we bring into this field collectively is needing to be known at this time and in this moment. So if you can take some time to just sit back and close your eyes, take a deep breath, several deep breaths. I like to do circular breathing, so that's in through the nose and out the mouth. And you want to focus on the exhale, really releasing anything that's standing in your way right now, anything that happened in your day, anything that's blocking you energetically, just let it go. You can let it go with a sigh or a moan, just really releasing and surrendering and letting go energy. And with each inhale, think about breathing in the positive energy, positive love, light, compassion, joy, acceptance. And now doing both at the same time, breathing in positive and exhaling the negative. Breathing in oneness, exhaling duality and the illusions that come from it. Breathing in interconnectedness. Breathing out separation. Breathing in love. And breathing out fear. Let us be guided today, tapping into the Akashic records, to any timelines or past lives that seem relevant at this moment in time. Let us call those records in. Let us call that library of information in. Let us call it into our individual sovereign light bubble, as well as our collective field. Inviting the ancestors, past, present, and future, to be here with us now. All of the elements, earth, air, water, fire, and spirit, be here with us now. And take a moment and ask yourself, what is it that I need to know right now? You have all these guides and guardian angels surrounding you right now. Just take a moment and ask the question, what do I need to know right now? You may hear a voice or a series of voices. You may hear sounds or tones, or even see images. All of that is good. Just breathe it in and accept it and listen. Let us bring into the collective field more information around activating our awakening right now, our individual awakening, our global awakening, and ask for whatever information or transmission is needing to come to you at this moment in time. Perhaps we can now ask, what is it that we are needing to do? For instance, what actions is it that we're being asked to take on an individual and collective basis? So what actions are we asking or are we being guided to take right now, this present moment? Another question that's coming through right now is, as we're becoming embodied with our higher selves and awakening our consciousness and expanding our energies, there are certain pushbacks that are occurring, and that maybe right now we can ask, what is it from our collective field and our individual field, what is it that we need to expel or surrender and release and let go of? What is it that, whether it's an energy or a feeling or a pattern or a reaction or a relationship, what is it that we need to collectively let go of to come into our global awakening at this time? And though each of us are receiving different messages, we are tapping into all the collective consciousnesses that spirit web that connects us all. So as you receive your personal message, we are receiving for the collective as well. And take a moment to visualize our Merkaba of light energy, that sacred geometry of a star tetrahedron. So there's a three-sided triangle forming from the top of the head and coming down to our base. And then an inverse three-sided triangle from about our brow, coming down and implanting into Mother Earth about 2 feet below our root chakra. This is the feminine aspect, and the male aspect is the upper pyramid. And as they spin and twist together, one is spinning one direction, the other spinning the other, it's creating this field of energy around us, this light body activation that occurs within our chakra system. And just sit with that now and visualize your Merkaba around you and your light body starting to expand from your heart, from your power center, from all your sacred centers, this light and this energy expanding out into your Merkaba. This energy field can also be visualized expanding even further out from its points to create a saucer or disc-like object. And just feel the expansion of your sovereign light bubble getting larger and larger and brighter with each breath. Now imagine this light bubble can take you anywhere that you want to go instantaneously in time and space, that it all collapses down into one singularity, into one point. And you can see these threads, these light threads connecting you to the other Merkabas around you, to the other people within your community and your family, expanding and creating a network around the entire globe. And as others sit with us in this activation, we can feel their little sovereign light bubbles surrounding the entire planet. Now let our bubble shine light. Let it shine loving vibrations, enveloping the globe as if we're holding her in a big hug. We're thanking our mother. Thank you so much, Mother. Thank you for all that you provide. Thank you for every single thing that you do for us. We are your children. We are here to care for you and nurture you just as you do for us. Thank you. We hold so much gratitude for you. In this loving embrace, we hold you to the highest light so that we may bring you and ourselves to the highest frequency, the highest vibration. As we hug you and envelope you in love and compassion, acceptance and forgiveness. And now we feel the return hug. We feel our mother embracing us as if we are a small child that needs to be calmed down. We're being soothed by her, gently stroked by her, lovingly caressed by her. She shows us the gifts that she brings us. We feel the breath in our body. We know the nourishment of food. We feel the waters that she provides for us, that we intake into our bodies, cleansing us daily. We also know the power of fire and renewal and the way that it burns away the old to make room for the new. Knowing that she has these burn scars on her now, let us rub her burn scars for a moment and just send her soothing love. and understanding that there's a divine plan and that everything is meant to be, even in this time and all that we're going through, that it is all meant to be. Knowing that in our individual beings, we can bring that to the collective, we can share it with others, that everything is meant to be. That we can find peace during this time. Inner peace. From inner peace comes global peace. From introspection comes outer perspectives, shifting and changing. As we awaken our consciousness, as we rise and raise our vibration and our frequency individually, we do so collectively. That whole web of Merkaba light bodies around the planet, collectively raising the vibration and the energy together within the field, within our Mother Earth, within our community and our family and ourselves. From the microcosms comes the macrocosms and vice versa. Everything in life spirals. The spiral energy from the itty bitty atoms and cells and molecules in our body to the planet and our solar system and our galaxy, everything spins. That is the crux of life. That spinning vibration frequency emanating outward, as well as in that toroidal energy, that toroidal torus flux, bringing energy out and back in, bringing energy out and back in, bringing energy out and back in, and out and back in again, yes? Around ourselves, around our planet, around the entire universe. This torus spiral energy is so important to remember and tap into. From the spin comes the dynamic energy of movement, moving energy, as we do with our breath, as we do with our body, as we do in our lives. We are movers of energy. What energy is it that we choose to move during this time? What is the energy that we choose to move away from us and the energy we're choosing to bring towards us, to embody within us? We all know the truth. It is felt, it is known in our deep core being of this human experience, within our blueprints, within our DNA code. We activate these codes and these blueprints now to understand and realize our inner truth, our highest and best good for all. Within these codes, within these blueprints is a map. It is a map to our inner world and our outer world because they each reflect each other like a mirror. When our inner world is peaceful and loving and compassionate, then our outer world becomes the same. It reflects it. And vice versa, when we choose to take information and transmissions from the outer world and we make the choices that most resonates with our highest vibration and energy, then we don't waste time on the other pieces. They just fall away. That whole house of cards, that illusion is just falling away. Just let it crumble, let it fall by its own weight. Then it just dissipates and dissolves. And imagine bringing in exactly what it is you're choosing to manifest or will manifest in your life. What is it that you want? What is it that you want to embody? And I'm not just talking about belongings. We're talking about energies and feelings and emotions, feeling a life fulfilled, feeling a life on purpose, feeling a life with a mission, feeling a life in action, feeling a life that feels complete and whole and in unison with our highest and best good. So shall it be. As we come into this unified field, this collective energy, we are being pulled. Sometimes our heartstrings are pulled, or there's these cords or these old contracts. Now is the time to sign off on them, to complete the contract, to say that it's complete and finished, or that certain ones are just null and void in this lifetime, that they don't apply, that they are no longer necessary. Let us feel that for a moment and take our cords that are draining any energy, any pulls or tugs that are unnecessary. Just cut it away. Just cut it away and let it fall to the ground, and Mother Earth transmute that energy. Just cutting those cords. You might feel a certain energy in your body right now. Maybe for me, it's in my lower back, and I have certain energies there right now. So just cutting those cords. Go to the area in your body that feels tight or stressed or anxious, and just pull that energy out, almost as if you're your own little surgeon right now, because we can heal ourselves completely of everything. So just pull that energy out and cut it and let it drop away. And thank it. Thank it for the lessons that it's given you as you do this. You might feel a need to like slough something off, or just like push it off, or pull it off, or scrub it off. Just go ahead and do that right now in this present moment. Just like, just send it on its way. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, and feeling just this calmness come over you, this softness, this gentle relaxation. Maybe your shoulders start to drop, your face starts to relax, your body starts to relax as you really let go and surrender these pieces of you, or pieces of contracts or past belief systems, or illusionary based practices, or reactionary behaviors. Just letting them go, just surrendering them, saying, I'm sorry, thank you, I love you, I appreciate you, but I'm sorry, it's time to say goodbye. It's time to go. It's time to leave. And just feeling your body and the lightness in your body now. In this lightness, there's this form that comes into place. These energies can start coming into you now. So start inviting certain energies in, and go ahead and replace that area that might have a little gap, or a little hollow space. Just fill that up with the energy that you do want, the healing, the love vibration. Sophia, Christ consciousness embodied in our body. Just love yourself and touch yourself and soothe yourself. Allowing those energies to enter your field now. With those energies comes different information, different transmissions. Take a moment now, again, after we've surrendered and released so much, and we're replacing it with what we choose to have. Ask again what it is that you need to know in this moment. What do I need to know right now? Some of the angels and the masters are saying that you know what it is that you need. You just listen to your inner voice. It is us speaking to you and through you. If you just quiet yourself enough to listen to it and get rid of the chatter, that human duality chatter, and then judgment and criticism or blame or shame, and just let go of those things too, then we will enter your field and be with you. We are present with you at all times, but we must be invited in. So let us all take a moment and really invite them in right now. To invite them into that Merkaba light field, sovereign light bubble that we've created. And literally feel them enter our field right now, so that we can tap into their highest knowledge and their source energy and their record keeping and all that we need to know. Let's hold them in this space together as we continue through our journey. Let them be with us and be present, because they are not they are we. We are one, right? We are all connected. So we are one with them in this moment. They are one with us. And even letting some of that duality language drop away, right? One is here. One is embodied. One is vibrating love frequency. Let's keep that energy field open and embodied and whole as we begin to become present in our journey. And we will thank them all at the end of our journey. And as we open this collective field together, we start to open our eyes and come present in this moment. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It is done, it is done, it is done. We are one, we are one, we are one. Thank you, everyone. I am feeling called to open the call in just a short while. What was coming through was that we all have something to share, and from our own experiences and journeys, we can learn from each other as well. That's why having guest speakers has been such a wonderful gift. I'd like to share a few things of what came through. We're all creating our little islands of light right now. Right now at our homestead, we have a garden and chickens and animals, and really tending and caring to the land so that it can provide for us, and we can have the vegetables and the fruit and the nuts and the things that we need to be nourished. And you see this happening more and more around the globe. People starting to put their hands in the dirt, people starting to grow their own food. And there's nothing more empowering right now than to grow your own food. That way you depend less on the system, and you can be provided for. Your family can not only survive but thrive, even in times like this. I'm feeling called to share in this moment that last night my husband and I watched a film called The Need to Grow. It was a documentary film, about a green powerhouse that created carbon that helped enhance the soil, that created algae, and then it had this whole feedback loop. I can't explain it all, but it had this whole feedback loop system where it was truly a closed system. And not only were they creating algae and healthy soil, regenerating the soil that's been dead or sick, making healthy, beautiful plants, even pineapples and bananas in below 20-degree weather in the middle of winter inside this greenhouse. And their byproduct of all of it was electricity. And this little greenhouse, they called it the dragon, this greenhouse power system was able to create power for 100 homes that surrounded it. And this is a project that suddenly feeling really, really called to be a part of and to take action on. And as we're creating conscious and sustainable communities around the planet, there are alternative ways in which we can regenerate the soil, in which we can create electricity as a byproduct and actually power ourselves and have free energy. So this is something after the recording I'll include it in the comments, the link to the film, but it's called The Need to Grow. Something else that came through is that as we learn how to be in community, how we can create conscious, sustainable communities around the planet, and as we can gather our tribe, so to speak, to be in tribal living again, that this may be a solution for some people. And as we move into oneness, this is actually going to become a reality on planet Earth. The old system isn't working, it's breaking down, and that is abundantly clear to us. So if you're at home and you have land and you're feeling called to cultivate food, it is being asked right now for you to do that. This food is not just for yourself and your family, it is for those around you. Even friends who might live in the city and don't have the capabilities of doing that. There are ways for them to do that as well. We just need to be educated and share the information on how to do that. Thank you. Also finding ways to have clean water. There are systems out there that are helpful in cleaning water. We personally have something called a More Clear water filter. It is made by Zija, Zija.com. Sorry, it's hard to spell right now when I'm just it's not an advertisement for them, but what I'm saying is that it's a powerful water filter. It has 3 different cartridges and includes moringa, which is a living plant. It is called the Tree of Life, and moringa intake daily is important, and we actually get it through our water because once it is filtrated, it goes through the moringa as well. The moringa was used by ancient Egyptians, where they put water into a vessel and put moringa seed and leaf and then swirl it around, and it was clean, clear water. So it is a miracle plant. It is a tree that it's called the Tree of Life. People who live in the regions where it is planted and grow live to be live to very old ages. So feeling called to share moringa with you. Yes, thank you. So activating our global awakening starts with us. It starts with us on an individual basis, and that the more in tune we get with our inner voice and our higher self and our guides and our guardian angels and our ascendant masters and all of these energies that are here to assist us and help us right now, the more in tune we get with them, the more clear things become. So life purpose, life mission, your path, what it is you're meant to do, what actions you're meant to take. It's all there for you. It's just a matter of really listening. Yes, thank you. And when we listen, when we truly use our intuition and our gut feeling, that gut feeling, if you're familiar with human design, some of the designs, manifesting generators, some of them come from the solar plexus, and it's that gut feeling. It's that butterflies in the belly and full body shivers when you feel and hear and see the truth, your own inner truth. Then you can feel it over your body. It's like your hair stand on end. You get these little goosebumps. And that's when you know that you're hearing or seeing the truth. A lot of times that happens when we hear somebody singing. You get that goosebump feeling through your whole body, and you just know that they're channeling their divine energy, their divine essence in that moment, and it's just so real and it's so powerful. So as we pick up on those cues, and as we tap in more into our intuition and we actually follow its guidance, our path is laid in front of us even more clearly. Have you ever had that feeling where I should move that, or somebody's going to knock that vase over, or somebody's going to trip over that, or whatever it might be, and you don't do it, and then not more than 30 seconds to a minute later, it happens, right? The vase turns over. So this is your inner guidance. This is your inner intuition. And when we don't follow it, we diverge, we move from our paths, and we get stuck in the duality illusion of the matrix. We can have other energies connect to us, attach to us. Our sovereign light bubble isn't as clear, so other energies that aren't welcome can enter. So we really need to follow those cues, follow our intuition, follow our inner guidance at all times. Okay, thank you. I'm being told that muscle testing is really important. You can hold a supplement or vitamin and hold it against your heart and say, is this for me? First, you want to ask, what is my yes? Usually it's a lean forward, or, it could be a spiral to the right kind of thing. And then you ask for your no, and usually it's a lean back or a spiral the opposite direction. Or if you're using a pendulum, same thing, ask your yes or no, and then hold the product, and then ask the same question, is this for me? And you have to ask yes or no questions when you do the muscle testing or the pendulum, but you say, is this for me? Or is this for me at this time? You want to be really clear. Because a product might be okay for you at one time in your life and then not at another time. Yes, so muscle testing and pendulums, there's lots of divination tools that can help and assist you to become closer connected to your guides and your intuition. Okay, yes, they're saying divination cards as well, decks are also tools, crystals, earth minerals are wonderful healing tools. The Mother Earth gives us so many tools for us to utilize, and And there are allies. We have plant allies, we have stone allies, we have mineral allies, we have rock allies, we have all these different allies that and animal allies, yes. Yep. So if you have an animal that you feel really called to, that you feel is a part of your totem or your spirit energy, you'll want to tap into that. You'll want to do some research around that, whether it's getting the medicine cards deck or whether it's just looking it up online, like what is the totem for rabbit or wolf. Mm-hmm. Also, another part of our awakening is understanding other modalities that are arising. There's astrology. There is human design. There is something that I just learned about the invisible garment. But there are certainly different schools of thought arising, and you can attach to one, you can attach more meaning to one than the other, but be open to all of them because all of them have some grain of truth in them. And it's better to know a little about a lot of different things than to focus so much on one thing that the other things fall away and you don't open your eyes to them. So part of the awakening is awakening to the whole, awakening to all of what's being offered right now. Being mindful too that that you're choosing what those are. If it's an energy that you are choosing not to have, then thank it and send it away. Cut the cord, so to speak, like we did earlier. Something else is coming through about our ancient ancestors and ancient civilizations. There's all these PowerPoints around the planet. Yes, these megalithic structures, pyramids, Machu Picchu, pyramids of Giza, Stonehenge. Yes, the heads of Easter Island. These megalithic structures, these structures that are unexplainable, even in our current reality, that it's not understood how they were created or made, let alone why they were made. There's lots of different theories, and again, being open to hearing all of the theories, you can come up with your own inner truth. But these sacred sites are really crucial to our planet. They aren't to be ignored. So many have been just signed off or written off as, oh, it's a tomb to a pharaoh. And yet there's no real evidence that says that that's what it is. Yeah, so if that interests you, just doing some research around ancient civilizations, megalithic structures, sacred places, sacred points on the planet, Mount Shasta is a chakra point on the planet, et cetera, et cetera. So as you tap into the information that these sacred sites have to offer, then their use can be made more clear. Their use is important right now. They were important a long time ago. They are important throughout history. But right now, as we're opening the doors to our global awakening, these sacred sites are crucial to the evolution of our human race, to where we're going to go, to moving from 3-dimensional to 4-dimensional to a 5D reality, where we can be in our activated light bodies, where there is complete abundance and prosperity and all of the good things that we see from Mother Earth. That this is a possibility. This is one of the infinite possibilities that's there for us to create, but we have to create it together. And we have to do that by remembering our roots, by remembering where we came from. And these sacred sites and megalithic structures are here to teach us about our origins, about our roots, about where we came from. And some say that they were made by off-planet beings that came here and actually created them. Some have said that it's been hybrid human and alien DNA that created it. Yep. Some say that they were manually built, and some say they were built by levitating and lifting the stones into position. Whatever it is that you learn, you can still integrate it into your own inner truth and discover what it is for you. So activating these sacred sites around the planet is crucial. It's really important right now for our global awakening, is activating these sacred sites. Yes, thank you. You can create sacred sites within yourself, like this Merkaba meditation we did earlier using the star tetrahedron. They are a 3-sided pyramid. So you have a pyramid, 2 pyramids around your body at this moment in time. So we can transport ourselves to these sacred sites in our mind's eye, in our mind, body, spirit complex, and actually receive information and transformations from those sacred sites, even if we're not standing on the ground in front of them. And yet traveling to them is going to be an important piece. Whether we travel to them virtually in our inner world, or even virtually through VR or AI technologies, to be able to witness the grandeur of the structure and be in awe of what it has to offer, the energetics of these places, that's very important too. Yes, so some people go and stand in the middle of a crop circle and they say their cameras don't work anymore, or they lie down and they feel this fuzzy, warm tingling all over their body. There are these power centers around the planet, and most of these megalithic structures were built as some kind of power point, whether it created power and electricity, or whether it's just an energetics, or whether they were actually portals to another world where we can open them and galactically travel to another place in space-time. It's all possible. It's all we can travel through space-time continuum from our own living room. It's called the astral projection and lucid dreaming. And lucid dreaming teaches us so much. When we awaken a dream and we realize we're in a dream, and we can actually begin to interact with it and ask for what we want to create within it, it shows us that we are the creators of our reality, that we are able to manifest whatever it is that we choose to have. So when we lucid dream and when we begin to interact in our dreams, what's the first thing that you do? I was on a call with Maria earlier this weekend, the Collective Oracle Council, and one of the things he said was the first thing he does when he lucid dreams and realizes he's in a lucid dream is that he flies. And the same here. Just expanding wings and knowing that we're capable of flying, that we're capable of anything. If we're capable of flying and it feels so real and you feel the wind in your hair and it's very visceral, you're having this experience where it truly feels like you're in reality. Well, that is your reality. You're creating your reality. And you can create that reality here and now in this space-time as well. So what is it that we're trying to create? Well, all of us are creating different things. And as we create them, we need to ask ourselves, is this for the highest and best good? Is this for the highest and best good for myself, for my family, my community? Is this for the highest and best good for the world, for Mother Earth, for our collective consciousness? And as we become closer to the realization of what is highest and best, then our actions will change our reality that's around us. Certain relationships that didn't serve us will fall away. Certain energies that didn't serve us will fall away. Certain feelings that didn't serve us will fall away. Certain reactions or behavioral patterns that we have in our relationships or even with ourselves, if that self-negative talk of talking down, it will all just dissipate and let go and fall away. So the more in alignment we become with the one, source energy, God, Goddess, Christ, Sophia, consciousness, love, compassion, joy, energetics, the higher we begin to raise our frequency and our vibration. And the higher our vibration and our personal frequency becomes, the higher the frequency of the planet becomes. Yes? So when we awaken individually, we are awakening globally. So what does your awakening look like? What does that feel like? What is it that's going to make you feel completely embodied, completely whole, completely fulfilled, knowing that you're truly living the life that you came here to live? We all signed up for this. Our soul contracts, we were up there looking down saying, that looks cool, I want to join. Yes, take me there. Yes, I want to be a part of the conscious global awakening of planet Earth. Yes, it will be tumultuous times and I'm ready. I'm so ready to do this. Let's go, team. Go, team, go. Starry family, we are here to do it together. We are here to do it together. To get here together. Yes? Okay. So what is your role? What is it that you feel most passionate about? What brings excitement to yourself? What brings those goosebumps on your skin? Your full body yes. What is the full body yes for you right now? Right now. The full body yes for this vessel is to keep doing this, to keep sharing, to keep speaking the inner truth that's coming through, sharing it with others in the hopes that it can be helpful, to activate, to assist, to be helpful. Finding other ways to collectively gather during this time. I know that we're using a lot of social media and Zoom and other other things, but also calling in different technologies for connecting in another way, whether it's through virtual reality, AI. It's understandable that some of these technologies coming from the computer aspect of things, we have resistance to them. I know we do. I do. We have resistance because of how they've been manipulated and used. And yet, if we have these new emerging technologies come into play in a more embodied, higher conscious frequency way, we can view them from a different perspective and actually utilize them as tools, as real tools to activate ourselves, to gather in community, to activate the sacred sites on the planet, to gather in circle, and to dance together and maybe even feel each other virtually. Yes, it's wild. We're in for a wild ride. Yes, we are, as the technologies are coming through and coming in. And yet there are ones that are of a higher vibration that if we embrace them, they will be valuable tools for us. Yes. Yeah, as our technology expands, our consciousness expands, and vice versa, right? Everything mirrors each other. If we're all one system, we're all one entity, energy, feeling, vibration, frequency, then the technologies that are emerging and coming up and to the forefront right now, they are for us to use. They are for us to utilize. We just need to remember to utilize them from our highest truth, and even sparingly. But knowing that they're here to assist us and help us. Yes. Thank you. Is there anything else right now? Anything we should know before sharing some other books and references? What's coming through the most right now is that we all know what we need to do. We all know what we need to do. Just listen. Begin within. Tap into our intuition. Understand our guidance. Accept and love our lessons and let them go. Embody our wholeness. Live in love and compassion and joy and acceptance. Invite in relationships, feelings, energies that resonate, and let the others fall away. Remember our highest truth. Activate our DNA codes, past life timelines, tapping into all the records. We can do so at any given time. We just need to close our eyes and ask. Just ask. It's all here for us. It's all here for us to utilize as tools to assist us in our ascension, to activate our individual and global awakening. It's all within us. And as we really, really connect with that and know our deepest, honest truth and begin to embody it more and more, the more that we will move into actions that resonate, that are in alignment, that will ripple out into the world and accelerate our global awakening. Yes, thank you. So shall it be. It is done. Thank you. Thank you. Wow. Thank you, beloved family, for being present and for accepting that transmission. Thank you. Think one. So as the transmission was coming through, I stopped for a moment to drink a little water. And I looked down and I saw this book here. This is called The Starborn, A Remembrance for the Awakened Ones. It's by Solara Anra. And I've been reading it aloud to create audio recording so that my husband can listen to it, because it's a book that I wanted him to read, and he said he likes audiobooks more sometimes. It's easier for him. And I'm going to just read a passage because it's so powerful. And it's really important that let me just look real quick. I'm feeling called to read some of this just for a moment. Okay, this is the awakening. The awakening did not take place overnight. Actually, it had been happening all along, only we had not recognized it. Remember that we had been gathering and stringing our pearls of remembrance since the beginning. Eventually, we began to perceive a change. First, we started to honor our uniqueness. We embraced the fact that we were different and learned to enjoy our senses of aloneness. As we accepted being alone, we discovered that we need not be lonely. In our solitude, we learned to enter the mysterious zone of silence. Here, we found the key to many new worlds of revelation. Silence proved to be one of our greatest teachers. It embraced us, wrapped us in a profound sense of contentment and peace. We were initiated into new levels of awareness which had previously been unknown to us. We not only became used to the silence, but found that we required steady doses of it to maintain our inner equilibrium and connection to the One. Silence became one of our truest allies. Next, we started working on self-love. This proved to be one of the most formidable tasks of all. For long, we had been locked into guilt and denial, feeling unworthy of love and happiness, or else we would not have found ourselves on this planet at all. We would have been home where we belonged, where we had always yearned to be. Thus, we had to learn to relinquish our sense of punishment and abandonment. Instead of constantly pouring out love to others as a distraction to avoid facing our own internal turmoil, we had to learn to love ourselves. Turning our attention to nourishing and honoring ourselves without guilt, without feeling selfish, was a major challenge. We were so afraid of being judged harshly by others as egocentric or spoiled that usually we did what people told us to do and thought what they told us to think, instead of listening to what we knew to be true. This caused more self-judgment, making it even more difficult to love ourselves. With the passing of time and much effort on our parts, we finally began to accept ourselves. Gradually, we started genuinely liking ourselves. Self-acceptance was so tremendously liberating that it became increasingly easier to express our true feelings and inner knowing. And surprisingly enough, the more aligned we were to our deepest truth, And the more openly we lived our truth, the less criticism did we encounter. Not only were we beginning to feel good about ourselves, but others seemed to appreciate us more too. It's funny how long we held fast to the judgment that it was dangerous to openly be ourselves on this planet. Now we are finally discovering that it is the only safe way to be. Our next project had to do with the issue of power. One of the ways in which this manifested was the battle between the sexes and for supremacy and control. Long ago, women on the planet wielded great power and authority, and instead of ruling wisely, they regarded men as vastly inferior and treated them as slaves. Great abuses of power were done by women in those distant times. Some legends, such as the Amazon, speak of those days. Even today, there are a few tribal societies hidden away in remote corners of the earth where women rule with a heavy-handed manner. Eventually, women's power was totally stripped away. Next, we entered an era where man held the authority. We are experiencing the end of this phase right now. One might think that those who had suffered terribly as victims, experiencing firsthand the results of their abuse of power, would have developed the compassion to rule wisely. Unfortunately, as observed in earthly history, this has not been the case. When men seized the reins of power, they proved themselves to be just as bad as the women had been. It was now women's turn to become second-class citizens. This condition of inequality is still prevalent in many areas of the world, although the situation is steadily changing to one of greater balance and equality. Oh dear goodness, I opened to a very long chapter. Yeah, I'll just end with this paragraph. Finally, as the tides turned once again, women began to reawaken and reclaim their lost identities, while confusion reigned, and women looked to men as their models for power. But in this haste to emerge, they started acting like men, equating men's behavior with empowerment. Now comes the new beginning for men and women. We can finally unite together in ways it was meant to be, as equals, complements, and co-creators. This entailed a long cycle of letting go, releasing, and surrendering, always following by a phase of stubbornly holding on to our old habits of control and denial. But often we believe these doubts and fears to be real, giving them life and power over us, keeping ourselves imprisoned in illusion as we cried out to be reborn anew. As our awakening progressed, we shifted our beings into a vertical alignment. This is the realm of direct experience, receiving our own guidance and knowingness straight from the One. We have gained a toehold into the ultra greater reality. So it goes on and on about who is the starborn and restructurization, empowerment, the sacred pause, where they talk about just being in pause for a moment as we go into our great awakening. So it's a wonderful book, and I highly recommend it, The Starborn, A Remembrance of the Awakened Ones. But she really does talk about how we move from duality, even male and female aspects, or people of power, people without power, and how we're moving into oneness, and how we can restructurize and align with the highest and best. So so Laura has been a wonderful guide and teacher for me on my path, and excuse me, she also wrote the book 1111, of which Andrew and I have thrown a gathering for 1111 for the last 10 years, and this year will be the 11th 1111. And there's certainly lots of information and visions coming through on how to create that on a global level, including activating the sacred sites. So it's pretty exciting. And if anybody's interested in joining or being a part of that project, please let me know. I'm happy to discuss any co-visualizations about that. So I'd like to open the call up to everyone who would like to step in and maybe either share about their experience in the journey, or even maybe if you've been writing, you can read to us one of your downloads, or you can ask a question directly to the field, to the collective field that's coming through right now, or you can share with us an answer that you received. So thank you everybody for being here. And once we are complete as a group, we'll do a short closing. So I'm looking at the time and realizing how long this has gone, because there's no time, right? There's no time, no space. So sometimes when the transmissions come in and I look at a clock, I'm like, wow, it's been an hour and a half already. So thank you for your patience and thank you for being here. And let's just open the call up. So hello. Hi. Hi, how are you?
Hello. Hi, Candace. Thank you for that. That was beautiful.
Yeah.
I actually have a question I wanted to ask.
Okay.
So I hopped on a little bit late, but I hopped on to the point about the cutting the cords, and I'm taking a little bit of a break from my most recent partner right now, and so I was cutting like the cords that I felt, and so for a moment I felt like they had been separated, but then I felt his energy come back in really, really strong.
Okay.
And like so much so that I like filled up my body, and that and
You're getting fuzzy. You're getting a little fuzzy.
oh, I'm sorry.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, I was just saying that so much so that it I felt his energy and like communicating with my body, like we were communicating psychically, and then like some aspect told me like the truth about it, and so then I started crying, but for some reason I don't, it's almost like I feel like the higher part of me feels ready to be done with this, but there's a piece of me that doesn't feel ready to let go of this, and I'm not sure why. Like I'm not sure if there's still like if there's still more to be done, or like what's going on.
Okay.
And so I just wanted to ask, because I literally was crying while you were talking.
So Victoria wants to know about her most recent partner and the closure of that relationship. Follow your heart. If your heart is hurt, that's something to look at. If it feels complete to you, then it's time to move on. Although you might want to create closure in a really healthy way. You can discover what that closure might be and look like for the both of you by sitting down and journaling and writing and doing, you know, creating an altar, a beautiful space, and then a meditation, and then just start free writing. And so the answers will come to you. They say that the answers are within you and around you, and you just have to ask for them. And you'll be given guidance and assistance in that manner.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah. I hope that was helpful.
That was very helpful. Thank you.
Yeah. And really, to as women, as a woman, it's important to remember that we have to balance the masculinity in ourselves as well. So we might partner with people who have the opposite. For instance, Andrew can be very feminine and I can be very masculine at times. It is that dance. It is that play of melding into the perfect ratio of what a one being could feel like. in its balance of masculinity and femininity. So as we shift our roles, like a lot of times we'll shift who does what chores, or, you know, more masculine, more feminine, but they're all, what I'm being told is that in the higher realms, in the oneness, it's all androgynous. It's all one energy, one being, and one entity. So there is no feminine or masculine, because that's a duality-based illusion. So when we find the partner that we truly melt and connect with, we bring out the best in each other, so that we can be our full embodiment of masculine and feminine.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Thank you for saying that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Hi,
Kelly.
I just wanted to say that that was just so beautiful and so resonant with me and what I've been feeling, and just some useful resources with the film, The Need to Grow, and how I was like, oh, I have to know more about that, and just being more self-sufficient in general. And then the moringa I've been taking every day, and I know this farmer that grows it, so it's just inspiring me so much to look more into that. And then the lucid dreaming you talked about, I was like, I was thinking fly before you said it. I was like, because that's every time that I have a lucid dream.
Yeah.
So it was like so perfect. So yeah, I'm just realizing like all the things that I never even knew you had inside of you is like, you know, coming out. And I'm so grateful to be able to see so much deeper into your realm, and you know who you are and what you channel and everything is just absolutely incredible. So thank you for sharing, first of all. And I have one question.
Yeah.
So one thing that I heard, I can't remember the name of, she channels, like, she actually doesn't just channel, but she actually, her spirit goes to like Palladian councils and things like that. And so she spoke of how there's, in the conscious community, a lot of times there's like this false agenda of light and having to think positive, being in joy and all this stuff, because that actually raises the duality against darkness in a way. And so I wanted to understand, because I agree with you with, you know, we need to raise our vibration, and it feels so much better to be in joy and all of those sorts of things. But how can we integrate like the darkness without completely ignoring it? Or should we just try and stay in that high vibration all the time? So I'd love to hear a little bit more about your thoughts on that.
Yeah. Okay. Kelly wants to know about lower vibrations in contrast to the higher vibration, and the shadow aspects of things. In one energy, there's always both. So part of the human experience and being in duality is experiencing both the light and the dark. When people move on to the next realm and go through the dark tunnel towards the light, that is a metaphor for the darkness, like going through the shadow, learning the lessons learned from the darkness to get to the light. So they're both essential, and they're one and the same. It's like two sides of the same coin. So when the global consciousness or the earth vibration is low and taxed and abused and taken advantage of, it's important for the individual lights to raise the vibration collectively to balance it, because right now it's very out of balance. There's way more of the darkness. So the light beings who have found it to be part of their life mission to be of the light and from the light and emanating light, they're simply balancing right now to bring it into the one energy. Yes. So it's important to learn from the darkness. Right now, we're going through the holy roller coaster, the up and down, the sine wave that's happening right now, and human emotions. And some people might feel very bipolar right now, or manic depressive, or all of those psychological terms that doctors have come up with to feed medications to people, when we can all heal from our own selves by moving through our shadow sides and raising our energy. So because Mother Earth and our global family has been dampened, like darker, dampening, weighted down negative energy, it's important to remember the positive. And when you find yourself speaking negatively to yourself about your life, or anything, that we have to remember there's the other side too. And the more we hear the good, the what we consider good, the less you'll hear the negative talk. So negative self-talk is one of the most destructive forces on the entire planet. And so many people are experiencing that right now, especially in this day and age and what we're all going through. So we have to teach those who are always in the negative that there's another way. Yes, so going through the darkness to the light, and then it's like the yin and the yang. Yes, it's all blended and mixed together to create one. So that's what's coming through right now. Yeah. Is that helpful?
Yes, thank you. So it's not about necessarily like ignoring the darkness, but being able to face it and share light into that, and to bring the darkness to the light, and creating that balance.
Yes.
on
Yes,
Earth.
it's they need each other, right? Light is not light without darkness. You need that contrast, that juxtaposition to understand. Yeah. But these dark energies come from not just negative self-talk, but also other entities, other energies. We won't get into that right now. And it's going to take a force of angels, of light angels, to diffuse that. So yeah, that's
Beautiful. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I
Thank
can't.
you for the question. It is really important to understand that, and to know that our experience is whole and complete. And when we experience the darkness, we have to get through something. There's a lesson to be learned there. And we can cut certain things and let it fall away, but those are things that don't serve. There are things in the darkness that does serve, because it shows us what it is that we need to work on, or a lesson that needs to be learned. So that's what I'm gathering right now.
Beautiful. I'm not going to be able to stay for the closing.
Okay. Thank you, Kelly. I appreciate having you.
Much love.
Good night. Anybody else?
I just want to say thank you. That was really beautiful and wonderful, and was very, very in resonance with what I've been experiencing, and just kind of helped me to find more clarity on all that's going on. And I feel like there are just so many everything buzzing around in my head, and so just hearing those questions and hearing just everything that you channeled was really bringing out in me, like, I know for, like, I was feeling a lot of, like, when the question of, like, what do I need right now?
Mm-hmm.
Realizing that a lot of what I need right now is just to slow down more. I feel like I'm always slowing down, but just to slow down more and to spend more time meditating and spend less time scrolling through my Instagram or whatever, getting so much sensory input, especially from screens all the time. And so thank you for inspiring those realizations and kind of groundedness within me.
Yeah. Pleasure. Thank you. Mm.
Yeah.
Is there anything else?
For me, or was that to everyone?
I meant for you. Is there anything else or you're complete?
I think I'm complete.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you.
Blessings. Anybody else like to jump on? Cara or Andrew? Otherwise, we'll go into our closing. Okay. And so let us take a moment and just close the energy out in this collective field that we've created together. Are there any last thoughts? This time in human evolution has been preordained. It has been written. And now we are going through it. Now we are experiencing it. This is all meant to be. Just stay in the love, stay in the love, surrender and let go of the fears of what could happen, and just be in your own sovereign love light bubble, emanating that energy out into our collective field for our global awakening. Because each time you shine your light, you give others permission to shine as well. And as we move through this darkness, it is not to be ignored, but it is a lesson. There are lessons within it that we can access, that can teach us things. And we can thank those lessons. And remember to be good to yourself, to create time for self-care, to brush your hair, to take a bath, to get a massage if you can, to use your sound healing tools, your musical instruments, make music and sing, spend time outside, go walk outside on Mama Earth without shoes on, put your feet in the dirt. If you feel like you need to be renewed or transformed in some way on a really deep level, you can even dig a hole and bury yourself in our mother. Bury yourself up to your neck so that you can be reborn from her. You can spend 5 minutes, a half an hour, or the whole night sleeping inside of her womb. Take time to be outside, to be with her, to listen to the birds, to enjoy a non-polluted breath of air. And just remember to smile. Remember to enjoy this time. To be creative, to find your creative outlet and what gives you joy and happiness. This is your opportunity. You've slowed down. You're looking within. Now let's see what you create from it. So much beauty to be had. So much, so much. Thank you. Thank you. It is done. Thank you, guides, archangels, ascendant masters, past, present, future, ancestors, sacred sites, power points on the planet, earth, air, water, fire, spirit. Thank you for being here with us in our collective field, for opening us up energetically for the transmission and channels to come through. We so appreciate the messages that we've received. We held such gratitude in ourselves and our bodies and our minds and our spirits. That we are all one. We are all one, and what we do affects those around us and ripples out. So be good to yourself, live in love, compassion, and joy. And with that, I bid you adieu. Thank you very much. Blessings, Starry family. I so appreciate you being here. And if you'd like to find out more, go ahead and just leave some comments below. And if you would like to contact directly, please email anistara1111@gmail.com. And it's ANISTARA 1111@gmail.com. Looking forward to next week, where we have a special guest live from Mount Shasta, Hillary Hart. Oh, I'm so looking forward to being with this woman. She has so much to offer. And yeah, so next week, Hillary Hart will be our guest, and the call will be called Planetary Alchemy, Empowerment for Empaths. Planetary Alchemy, Empowerment for Empaths. So that's next week, Thursday, 6 p.m. Love you so much. Mwah. Blessings. May you be well.